year ones. Right. Okay, I think he's settled now. Right, let's try. Hi year ones. So this morning we are going to be learning all about time and how to tell the time. But before we get started, what I want you to do is have a little think about what time is. Do you know any words that you use when talking about time? Any key words? Could you tell your mums and dads any key words that you know about time? Maybe you could tell me when something is taking a long time, what might we describe it as? How about if something is really short or really fast? What time words might we use to describe it? How about if something is happening today? Or what about if something is happening in the future? We might say it's happening. Did you get any? There are lots of time words that we use throughout our normal speech, and maybe we don't even realise that they are very clever maths words. Now, when we are talking about time, we measure time. Just like you get a ruler and measure length using centimetres or metres, so centimetres being small and metres being big. When we talk about time and we measure the passing of time, we also use units to measure it in, okay? Do you know any units to measure time in? Not sure? Okay, so we can measure time in seconds, minutes, hours, or even days, weeks, months, seasons, and years. And you can even go even bigger than that. You can go for decades, millenniums. It's completely up to you. And there's lots of really, really big ones. But what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on the smaller units of time. So we're going to look at seconds, minutes, and hours. So, what is a second? How long is a second? That was one. Sorry, Ollie. Ready? There we go. That was another. Seconds are super fast, aren't they? They go by in a flash. Can't even notice them happening. Do you know anything that you can do that only takes 1 second? Have a little think now. Maybe you could pause the video and have a think. Did you get something? Things that take a second. Ooh, doing a big jump up high maybe could take a second. Doing a clap, maybe touching your toes. Lots of things that are super quick that only take 1 second. Okay, well let's have a think about a minute and how long a minute is. You might think this is a little bit silly, but yesterday, just for the purpose of this video, I timed myself walking up and down the stairs to see how long a minute was. And a minute is how long it would take me to carefully walk up and down and up and down my flight of stairs. So it's still quite quick, but it's a little bit longer. You can get a bit more done in a minute. Why don't you pause the video now and have a think to see if you can think of anything that you can do that takes 1 minute or roughly 1 minute. Okay, pause. Did you think of any? I think washing my face really, really well takes about a minute. I think putting OllieDog's lead on takes about a minute, and I think picking up my coat, putting my arms through it and zipping it up takes about a minute. But what about an hour? An hour is a lot longer. In fact, an hour is what you used to have at dinner time. So all that time that you had to leave the classroom, get your coat on, get your packed lunch or your school dinner, sit down with it, gobble it all up, have a chat with your friends, put your rubbish away, go and put your lunchbox away, go and zip your coat up and go outside and then run around and fall over and then go get first aid and then it was finally time to line up. That whole big long chunk of time was about an hour. Okay? Can you think of anything that you do for an hour? It's a bit tricky. Have a think, pause the video. Did you get any? I've got one. When I used to go, listening. When I used to go swimming, that used to take me an hour. And when I used to walk this Ollie dog, that used to take an hour too, didn't it, Ollie? When we used to go out, that was an hour long. Okay. What about getting the bus to town? How long was that? Maybe not quite an hour, actually. You're a bit closer than me. It does take me about an hour to get into town. Right then, maybe what you could do now is pause the video and have a think. And I'm going to put a picture of what I mean on in a minute. And have a little think and maybe make a list for me about all the things that you know that take 1 second, all the things that you know and do that take 1 minute, and all the things that you know and do that take 1 hour. Do you think you could do that, year ones? I think so. Have a go then, and I'll see you soon. Hi guys! How did you get on with that activity? Hopefully it was super duper easy. Now, if you did manage to make yourself a clock using the link above, then brilliant. Now might be a good time to have it on hand to use for the next activity. If not, it might be a really good idea to get that virtual clock loaded up on a web page, ready to flip between as we start doing some clock activities. Okay? So, is there anything around the room right now that you can see or use to tell the time with? You could pause the video and have a hunt. Maybe even go on a hunt around your house to see how many different timepieces you have in your house. P.S. Check some really strange places, like maybe the front of the oven. Does that have a clock on? Or what about the microwave? Does that have one? Is there an alarm clock in your mum and dad's bedroom? Okay. So if you want to pause the video now and go on a hunt around your house to have a look and see how many different timepieces you can find, then brilliant. But if not, we're going to dive straight into learning how to tell the time to the O clock. Okay, ready? Great. So, chances are, as you looked around, you might have found 2 different ways of telling the time. One, there's just numbers. We call that digital time, okay? It's measuring the same thing, it's just showing it in a different way. Now, in year 1, we don't learn how to tell the time digitally, so we can just ignore those, okay? We just learn how to tell the time using analog clocks, okay? And analog clocks are the ones that have the hands on. Okay, so I have been climbing in my kitchen to get down a clock to show you guys, okay? So an analog clock uses the hands to tell the time, all right? So hopefully you have something in front of you that you can have a look at as we do the next bit. So, clocks, most of the time, they have numbers that go round, starting at the top, but we don't actually start with that number, a bit weird. We go round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, some fancy clocks might not have all of the numbers in and you just have to remember where those numbers are, but hopefully you have a nice easy clock to look at today. Most clocks have 2 hands. Some have 3, and we'll have a think about why they might have that 3rd hand in a moment. But pretty much every other clock will just have 2, okay? Now we learned earlier that you can measure time in seconds, minutes, and hours. Well, that was how quick a second was, wasn't it? That was really, really quick. So if there was a hand on my clock that was measuring seconds going round, do you think that hand would be moving really fast or really slow? It'd be going that fast. Yeah, so it would be a really fast hand. So if you have a clock in front of you that has a second hand, you can tell that it's the second hand because it's the one that whizzes around the clock really, really fast. Okay? But when we're trying to figure out the time of day so that we can catch our bus on time or we can get to school on time, we don't really focus on the second hand. Instead, we look at the minute hand and the hour hand. Now, looking at your clock, which hand do you think we use to tell the hour. So the longer unit of time. Which hand do you think we use to measure that with? Which hand helps us to tell what the longer hour is? The long hand. Oh, you'd think so, wouldn't you? And in fact, if I was redesigning clocks, that might be what I'd do. But no. Whoever it was who decided to make clocks, they decided that the hour hand that measures the longer unit of time, the hour hand would be the short one. This one. I know, don't ask me why. Just doing it to confuse you guys. Okay, so the shorter hand is the hour hand. So that means the longer hand, which is measuring the smaller unit of time, is the minute hand. I know, I don't know. Why don't you just have a go now at naming the hands for me? Which one's this? And this? And this? This one? 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 Did I get you out? Okay, so this is the hour hand and this is the minute hand. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to figure out what time it is by looking at my clock. Okay. So the hand that tells us whether or not it's o'clock is this minute hand. So this tells us whether it's o'clock, whether it's 1/2 past, 1/4 past or 1/4 to. Okay. And this one tells us what or what hour it is. Okay. So when I do this in my classroom, I like to make it as practical as possible because I think the more we move, the easier this slightly bizarre concept becomes. So to help me remember what the clock looks like or what the minute hand is doing when it is o'clock, and as you can see it's pointing all the way up, is I like to stretch up tall and do an o'clock hop. So get your hand nice and long and stretch it up so that it is their minute hand, and when it's o'clock your minute hand stretches all the way up and points to that number. Can you remember what the number was? 12. It points to the number 12. And then just to make it super duper fun, I say o'clock, 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 o'clock. Can you do that? Jumping up and down, shouting o'clock so that we remember o'clock is when that minute hand is pointing super duper straight right up to that number 12. Okay? But what o'clock? What o'clock is it? I don't know, I'm going to need to have another look, aren't I? I can see it's pointing up high, so it's o'clock, o'clock, o'clock. But now I need to have a look at the hour hand or the what hand. What o'clock is it? Well, do you think you can figure it out? What number is it pointing to? I hope that's the right way around on your screen. Did you get it? It's 10 o'clock. Brilliant, well done. Should we do another one? See if we can figure out. Okay, you have to bear with me. My teaching clock is still in the classroom. Teaching clock is a lot quicker to use than this one. There we go. Brilliant. Okay, so have a look at my clock. Have a look at the minute hand. Where is the minute hand pointing? You can do a jump if you want to. Where is it pointing? Clock, 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 clock. But what about that hour hand? What o'clock? What's the what hand doing? It's pointing to... Did you get it? What's the time? 5 o'clock. Well done. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to disappear for a minute and I'm going to put some pictures on the screen of some o'clock questions for you to practice telling the time to o'clock. Okay? Do you think you can do it? I think you can. Good luck. I'll see you in a minute. Hey, how did you do? Gold stars all round? Everybody do well on that one? Right, well, o'clock is the easy one, but now we're going to have a go at telling the time to half past. And half past is the one where we can get a little bit stuck and a little bit muddled, okay? But stick with me, we're going to figure it out. Now, I have set my clock to a half past time. When I put it on the screen, what I want you to do is I want you to look at the minute hand. Think about where the minute hand has gone, okay? Is it still pointing to that 12? What number is the minute hand, the long hand, now pointing to? Can you see? Might have to figure it out. 4, 5, 6. It's pointing straight down to the number 6. Okay. Now, the half past time is a bit of a sassy time. Okay, because as time moves forward and we move past the hour and our minute hand moves past o'clock all the way down to the half past position, as it does that, it knocks the hour hand on a little bit. Okay, so it's like it gives it a sassy bump along and around the clock. So if you look, it was, let's see if I can do this backwards. If it was 3 o'clock and time moves forward, now watch this hand. Watch what happens as I move it to half past. Can you see it? Is it moving a little bit? I think it is. Is it still pointing at 3? Has it reached 4 yet? There we go. So now it's half past 3. What has happened to this hand? Is it still pointing at 3? No. It would be a lot easier if it was, but it isn't. So when you are telling the time to half past, you kind of have to go through this really weird process of going half past, half past, half past what? Half past 1, half past 2, half past 3. Has it got past 4? No. So it's half past 3. Okay? It's a bit weird, right? So, just like before when we did o'clock, when we're trying to remember half past, we can use our hands and use our bodies to do it practically. So if it's not o'clock, then it must be all the way down, pointing to the floor, and we can go half past, half past, half past, half past. Mums and dads, I hope you're enjoying this. I've never seen myself teach time, and I think it's quite funny actually. Okay. I do it in a bit of a strange way, but hopefully it sticks in your memory. So it's half past, but then we need to figure out half past what? Is it half past 1? No. Is it half past 2? No. Is it half past 3? Has it got to half past 4? No, not yet. So it must be half past 3. So you kind of have to pick up this trick of looking backwards a little bit to figure out what the half past time is. Should we have a go at doing one together and then you can practice it yourself? Okay, bear with me. Like I said, Mrs. Golding's teaching clock is still in the classroom. Or should I do a mean one? Let's do a hard one. Oh, she's a meanie. Is that Mrs. Golding? She's a mean one. Right then, have a look then. First things first, check out that minute hand. Is it at o'clock or half past? Remember which one it is. Brilliant. Okay, we figured out it's half past, but half past what? Right, we're going to work our way round. Okay, is it half past 1? No. Half past 2? Has it gone past 3? No. Has it gone past 4? Has it gone past 5? Has it gone past 6? Has it gone past 7? Has it gone past 8? No. So it's just gone past 7, so it's half past 7. Did you get it? Don't know why, but when it's on this side of the clock, it's a lot harder. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to disappear from the video for a minute and I'm going to put up some questions for you to do at home with your mums and dads. And mums and dads, if you are practicing half past, start off with this side and then move on to that side, because they'll get into the habit of looking up and then they'll start looking up at this one, so they really need to get used to that, looking around rather than looking up. Okay, So have a go. Telling the time is one of those things that just takes practice, practice, practice. So have a go at the questions that I've set. Practice throughout the day, throughout the week. Come back to it. Do it whenever you've got a spare 5 minutes. It's just one of those skills that just clicks, and you just need to practice it until it clicks. Okay, so I hope you have fun playing with your clocks and learning all about time. I've put some other activities underneath this video, some really nice website with some lovely activities, like a clock headband and some clock games that you can play. And then I've put an extra tricky challenge website game on as well, but that is only if you've got o'clock and 2:30 sorted. Can you then go on to that, because that's got 2:15 and 2:45, which is really tricky and is also not necessary at year 1 level, so do not worry if you're getting stuck at 2:30. Okay, right then guys, I hope that you have fun and I look forward to seeing you soon, and I'm gonna say goodbye. And Ollie, are you gonna say bye? Say bye, Ollie. Bye. Goodbye. Oh, he's looking for you. Have a nice day, year 1.